Hello, everybody of ESCplus, all our followers. I'm here with Edward, who is part of the band that is going to represent Ireland in the Eurovision Song Contest 2023 in Liverpool, United Kingdom. He's going to do that together with his band members with the song We Are One. And yeah, Edward, I'm going to let you introduce yourself as well.
Hello, my name is Edward. I'm in the band Wild Youth. We're from Ireland. The rest of the members are Connor O'Donoghue, Callum McAdam, and David Whelan. And we are representing Ireland this year with our song We Are One.
Great. Well, first question, like how are you after winning the national final and now going through the road of actually going to the Eurovision Song Contest? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling very lucky and very privileged to be representing our country. I think regardless of some of the amazing things that we have achieved as a band in the past, representing your country feels like something very different. And being part of the Eurovision also feels like something very different. It feels very unique and special, and we're just so unbelievably privileged and happy to be involved. We didn't have, not that we didn't have expectations, but we weren't sure of what it was going to be like, and it has exceeded all expectations. People are diehard when it comes to the Eurovision, and it really means you can sink your teeth into the whole thing and really get invested. And I can't wait for the coming months, honestly.
Well, you said that like a lot of people are like really into Eurovision. Are you amazed by the fans, or how do you experience like,
I
yeah, like
love
people talking about
every
Eurovision?
yeah, I love the tribal aspect. I love how some people are, really, back their own country. But then I think Connor said previously, it's the only country, or it's the only competition in the world that everyone in the venue, when a song is good, everyone claps and everyone cheers, no matter what country it is. So there's a very togetherness about the whole thing. So it's a quite a unique competition in itself. You could go to a football ground and one end of the stadium is booing and the other end is cheering. Whereas at the Eurovision, everyone is together and wants the best and wants people to perform well and wants people to, whoever wins, everyone gets behind, and I feel like that's an incredibly unique thing to be a part of.
What was your personal first reaction when they announced like Wild Youth is the winner and you're going to the Eurovision Song Contest?
I have to be totally honest. When we were in the green room, it was so close, that it was torture in the green room. When leading up to the result was, and then after when it got announced, I think we just went into autopilot almost. We had to do a performance directly after we won, and I actually can't even remember the performance. It was just like, what has just happened? But I think, maybe a half an hour after, because I had to go up to our dressing room after, and I lay on my back for about 20 minutes, just kind of staring into space, going, what has just happened? And then after that, I kind of came down a little bit, and then I met with family like everybody did, and we just celebrated. And, again, a moment I'll probably remember for the rest of my life.
Because I was always wondering what artists think when it's announced that they won like anything, in this case to go to the Eurovision Song Contest, and then you have to perform again while you're in that euphoric kind of state, like that
Honestly,
bubble. It's
out,
like
out of
crazy,
body,
right?
outer body experience. I think we weren't experienced in that. Music has never been a competition for us. It's always been subjective, and we've always had our fans and we've done our shows and we've done our tours, but this just felt so different. It felt like we were really under the microscope, and so to come out of it victorious was, again, we probably won't feel a feeling like that ever unless we get, say, to the final and do well. That will be on another level for us, but one step at a time. And that moment for us was so far the best we can imagine.
Do you think like coming from an indie band like Wild Youth that it is different, the experience of going to Eurovision? It's more commercial. Do you think that the experience is different than people who do more
Yes,
commercial music?
it's definitely different. I will say some of the songs aren't pop, they're just kind of different. They're just, they could be unique to each country. But I find, yeah, for sure, it's a totally different way of looking at music, but it's also just the same way of looking at music. It's just either people like it or people don't. Some songs people are on the fence, that's fine, but I often find with the Eurovision, the winner is always the winner. You always know when the winner wins, you're like, that was obviously going to win, or that was a really strong song on the night. So it's it's an interesting space for us to be in as a band, because we never look at it as, although your whole career is a competition because you're trying to get up charts, you're trying to get good streams, but it's not the same. The Eurovision is a totally different beast, and so far I'm absolutely loving it.
In that regard, did you like get advice from other artists that were in the Eurovision and for Ireland before, like Brooke?
So I think Connor spoke to Nikki Byrne, who was in Westlife, and after we won, he kind of said to him, "Look, I have some tips for you. I have some ideas." And I think Connor's brother met Johnny Logan recently, but I can't remember what was said. I think he said something to Connor potentially. We spoke to Niamh Kavanagh, who won as well, and her advice was to enjoy it because it will go by in a flash. So I think we're trying our very best to just stay grounded, and just like every moment that comes to us, we're trying to really soak it in and trying to soak up every moment, because in reality, I'm not sure how many people in the past have done the Eurovision twice. It is rare. I mean, Lorraine has done it, is going to do it for the second time. I think Jed would have done it twice.
On Saturday.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I totally forgot. Like, I'm gonna have to tune in for that. How long does it go on for?
The Melody Festival, you mean the Swedish national final? Upcoming Saturday is the final, and I think it's been going on for like 4 weeks.
It's crazy. We were in Stockholm in November, and they told us about this festival. It's like we were in a riding camp over in Stockholm, and we were in a restaurant, and we met some people, and we were like, oh, we're going to try and be Ireland's representative for the Eurovision, and everyone just was like totally zoned in straight away, wanted to know everything, and then told us all about that festival, that how they pick their their act to go for it. And it's so big. It's huge. It's so impressive, honest to God. And again, we're just so lucky to be, well, maybe lucky is not the word, but so privileged to be part of the whole thing.
Great to hear. The song that you're going to perform is We Are One.
Yeah.
Which is a huge theme, obviously, these days. On a personal level, for you, what is the song really about?
I think what I touched on earlier, the Eurovision for us is a very unique space where everyone, because the song says, tonight we are one. Everybody's cheering for everybody. Everyone's here for a celebration. It's about overcoming adversity, but also seeing the differences and the similarities that everyone has. So we like being you, like we breathe, we're hungry, we go through everything. We go through life's moments at different times in our lives, but everyone goes through hardship, everyone goes through good time, but you keep fighting. And, we are one, because essentially what that means.
Well, when I heard the song for the first time, We Are One, I was really thinking like this could be like a huge arena kind of moment, since it's so now, the song is very current, and I think everybody will respond to that.
I think for us, we went over to me and Connor went and wrote it in Stockholm, and we had an idea. And we were like, we want to make this as big as possible. And we want it to feel good every time we listen to it. We want to feel good every time we listen to it. And we believe we got that. And on the day before we were heading in, we were listening to certain songs. We wanted to come alive on the stage at the Eurovision. We wanted to be, I can't wait to get there to Liverpool and be on that big stage and really bring it to life. Because we've played some big shows in the past. We've toured with Westlife. We've played at Croke Park, which is like stadium in Ireland, like it's 80,000. So we have a little bit of big stage experience, and I feel like we can really come to life on a big stage, and we really can't wait to get on there and do our very best for Ireland.
And will there be like a difference in the performance, like how it was in the national final, and how are you going to perform it on the huge Eurovision stage?
Yeah, we've put a whole choreography together. The song has been revamped. It just got the Eurovision, it's on the Eurovision YouTube channel now. Our music video just dropped about, I'd say, 45 minutes ago. So that's the revamp. So that will probably give people a bit of an idea of how we're going to perform it on the stage in Liverpool. We're going to try and make it as big and as anthemic and as, not going to say theatrical, but make it a moment for sure.
Okay. So no sparkling glitter kind of.
I'm not ruling anything out. I can't rule anything out, but I don't want to give away anything. But we have some surprises up our sleeve for sure.
Okay,
for sure.
We have something to look forward to. That's good.
We're gonna throw the kitchen sink at this and really make it something big.
Okay. A kind of go big or go home kind of moment. Okay.
Exactly.
Best case scenario, you would while you would win the Eurovision Song Contest, what would that mean?
I don't think there's many words if we won. It's a very, very hard question to ask or to answer, because I would be not gobsmacked, because you enter a competition to do well and to win. That's I think anyone would say that, but at the same time, we are aware of the incredible artists that are also involved, and we're not silly or foolish to think that we can just go in here and just paint by numbers. We need to go in and we need to compete and we need to do well, in our opinion, and we need to put our best foot forward as ourselves, do the best version of us, and if we can do that, let the chips fall where they may. But if we were to win Eurovision, we would go down in history, not only in our home country but across Europe. So you can't really ask for more than. It's not that it's unthinkable. It's not. We're trying to take it. We're trying to take it one step at a time. So we did the Eurosong. We won that. Next is the pre-parties. We perform our very best at those. Get to the semi-final. Do our very best there. And if we get to the final, do our very best there. So we're just taking it by increments. Slowly but surely build and get to that moment, and hopefully things go our way.
Talking about the pre-parties, are you going to be at Eurovision in concert in Amsterdam? Or is that... Okay. I was wondering if that maybe is something that is not announced or released, or...
I think it was announced. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I remember seeing something a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. So we're going to meet each other there as well. Fun.
Are you going to be there?
Yes, I'm going to be there. Yes.
Excellent.
Fun. Did you get the chance to listen to some of competitors?
Yes. Now, I didn't spend too much time, because when you do that, you end up forgetting what you have to do, which is focus on yourself and get what you're doing right. So I dipped my toe in and listened to some acts, and you know, it's Alessandra, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's
From
a
Norway. Yeah,
that's a big song.
that is, yeah. It has all the bells and whistles. Yes.
It's a very, very big song.
Mm-hmm.
That stood out for me as a song that I really want to see live. I really want to see
Mm-hmm.
that performed because I listened to it when I was on driving on the on my car radio or whatever, and I turned it off and went, I'm gonna go listen to that again.
Okay. Since I am Dutch, did you get a chance to listen to the contestants of the Netherlands?
I
Maybe.
don't think so, but I will.
Okay, good, good.
You follow us
There's still
on
time.
you follow us on Instagram or follow me because I would love to listen to it and then give you my opinion. I
Yeah,
can't listen to it obviously because it's 3 minutes, I'm sure.
yeah. No, but there's still time, so you have enough time to
That's
do
what
it
I
in
mean.
there.
Like there's some that like come into my eye line, like the Loreen song came into my eye
Hmm.
line. Uh Alessandra as well. A
Hmm.
couple more. The Spanish entry, I think I was watching the video and she was holding a note for felt like an eternity.
Hmm.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, she has an enormous voice. Yeah,
And
yeah.
The Greek I've heard, Joker out also. They've reached out to us.
Hmm.
We said we were gonna hang out when we're over. Because I think we're on the pre-parties together, so that should be fun.
Hmm. And there are lots of bands this year with,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think Maneskin have opened the door
Hmm. Yeah, I
for
think so.
sure.
Yeah, for bands to actually apply to
Yeah.
go to Eurovision. It's true. It's true. Um, Worst case scenario. We talked about the best case scenario. Worst case scenario. Um, you would go to Eurovision. You would only make it to the semifinals.
Mhm.
What did you learn from the whole experience up to now?
Go to the Eurovision, don't get past the semi-final. I think what I would learn from that is our country backed us to do it.
Hmm.
So that's a very important thing that you have your country's backing. Um, if we go there and we give it everything we've got, and I mean empty the tank,
Hmm.
and we don't qualify, that's all you can do.
Hmm.
But we'd
Yeah.
stick around, I'm sure, and watch, you know,
Hmm.
because to be part of something like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I'm not going to just walk away just because we didn't qualify. I still want to be part of it. I think it's an amazing event.
And I think there seems to be like the past couple of years, like people who did not get into the final or acts that did not get in the final or just entered the competition can also be very successful afterwards. So we're like a couple of
Of
bands,
course.
a couple of singers that might not have done well in the competition, like Rosalind last year. She did not do well in the grand final, but in the end, she became like TikTok famous and is now performing all over the world, and people know her song. So yeah.
You can find your niche if you work hard,
Hmm.
you know? So even Brooke, who was our representative last year, fell at the first hurdle in the semi-final,
Hmm.
but she's gone on to have her own career. She's currently on Dancing with the
With the
Stars
stars.
over in Ireland,
Hmm.
and she's doing a tour of Australia and New Zealand around the
Hmm.
time of the Eurovision. That's not to be sneered at. You
Yeah.
know, that's a really good career. You like if you work hard, you can make it work after the fact.
Hmm.
You know, it all depends whether you want it or not. You have to do the work. Some people could fade away and go, you know, that was my last chance, or I
Hmm.
don't. But I'll generally find if that's the case, maybe it wasn't for them in the first place. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
hard to
yeah.
tell. Everyone has their own individual thoughts and battles when it comes to the Eurovision and their own careers. You know, some people, like I find some people might enter it that were kind of tepid about entering it. You know, you can't really
Hmm.
do that. You have to be all in. You
Yeah.
have to embrace the whole culture. You have to embrace every element of it, and you have to really dig in and know your stuff and do your research and really get to know it properly.
Hmm. Yeah, because we had that chat with Lorraine in the Netherlands when she performed during the song festival. Sorry, yeah, we call it song festival. So yeah, in the Netherlands. So it was like a huge concert with all past winners and people who compete in a
Oh,
Eurovision.
amazing.
And we had a chance to speak to Lorraine as well, and she said like, well, maybe I'm going to do it again. It was not like disclosed at the time, but she said like I have to do my best, just like everybody else. You know,
Exactly.
I've won the competition, but doing it all again, I have to start at like phase one. So yeah.
Lorraine strikes me as a girl who likes a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So I see like she's a very impressive woman,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
incredible voice, amazing songwriter. Um, yeah, I think that happened with us with Eurosong. Because there was some acts that we were up against. Say Connolly, for example,
Mm-hmm.
she has never released any music, never done a tour. That was her first gig, I think, which is so impressive.
Mm-hmm.
K Money and MD, Aji, Leela Jane, um, obviously Public Image Limited have done many tours in the past, so that's not I can't really say much about that. But the rest of them, we would probably have a bigger profile in Ireland than them. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a similar thing. Obviously, Loreen is on a different level to us, but from our level in Eurosong, we had a bigger platform. But
Mm-hmm.
we were aware of the fact that we have to go in and we have to perform and we have to it's a level playing field. And that's what I feel like the Eurovision is. It's
Mm-hmm.
literally a song contest.
Mm-hmm.
So your past, your present, whatever is irrelevant. It's how good your
Mm-hmm.
song is, and that's it.
True, true. Um, yeah, like being in Eurovision for Ireland, a whole bunch of people, a whole lot of Eurovision fans know about like Ireland, especially in the 90s, winning like the competition consecutive
7 times.
times. Yes. Does it like come with extra pressure to represent Ireland? Like people who represent Sweden, for example,
Of
people always
course.
expect like a whole lot from Sweden. Is it like the same for Ireland? Does it come with extra pressure?
I think the pressure for us is to get there to the final.
Mm-hmm.
The pressure, that's where the pressure is, because I think the last time we qualified for the final was either 2017 or 2018. That's a long time ago now. For a country that has holds the record for most wins,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important that we at least get to the final
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
compete. So for sure I relish having all of those winners put feel that pressure, because we love it. We love a challenge. We want to.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we did it in the first place. We're all massive fans of the Eurovision from the past. We've grown up with it, like everybody does, and it's just we used to love it. I always remember as a kid when the Eurovision came along, the nights were getting a little bit more brighter, and the sun
Mm-hmm.
was getting a little bit warmer, and the Eurovision on, it would still be bright outside, but it would kind of get
Mm-hmm.
dark, and it's just such a magical time, and I just remember so many fond memories. And I think for us, part of us was like we would love to be a part of that, but also we would love to go there and qualify. That's
Mm-hmm.
the that's what we want. We want to get to the finals.
Great, great. Yeah, so yeah, let's just like get our fingers crossed and just hope for you guys to be
Thank you so
in
much.
the grand final. I love your song, I have to say, listen to it like a lot of times because it's just like also a fun song, just like
Yeah.
to listen to, not even maybe the message, which is important as well, but just like as a song, it's very like uplifting, very positive. So I like
Thank
that.
you. How are
Um,
you feeling? How are you feeling about your the Netherlands going forward?
well, I was at the song release of the Netherlands, which was in Rotterdam, which was
Okay.
obviously the city that like hosted Eurovision in 2021. And like being so close to the Dutch contestants and seeing them like finally releasing that song after like months of like not being able to talk about it with people, you just could feel like their energy. And I have to say it is a song that I needed to listen to like twice or three times just to get like into it. But I really like it. It has like some Coldplay, a little bit of Lana Del Rey. The
Nice.
duo is like young and they're fun, and you can see that like in their whole performance, like the people they are. And it's yeah, I like it. And it's always a guess whether, people always say, well, that's a winning song or that could
Of
be a
course.
winner. But there have been multiple times that, like songs that reach like the highest of heights with the bookmakers were not the winners. So
We
yeah.
weren't favorites for the Eurosong in the
Hmm.
bookies to start. I think on the day we became favorites, but the whole lead up we weren't. And
Hmm.
that's important for us, and I'd say for you as well. It's you have to almost block out the noise
Hmm.
and not think about, as you say, for example, everyone's picking a winner in the comment section, but no
Hmm.
one really knows.
No, no,
So I think we
nobody.
got caught at the start because of that. I remember myself, I was looking initially when we got announced and the song, a
Hmm.
snippet of the song was put online. I started reading the comments and I was like, oh my God, this is
Hmm.
chaotic.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Hmm.
But then I eventually realized that I need to have a healthy distance between that and just focus on what we're
Hmm.
doing. And we're here for a reason and we're professionals and we have to go and do our job.
Yeah, and people commenting can also be like very harsh. If I
I
sometimes
know
read like the
it's
comments, I'm like, I
crazy.
would be afraid to even
It's
like enter the venue.
I know
Just like,
at the start, I was
yeah.
like, oh my God, this is insane.
Hmm.
But as time has passed, I find myself not giggling, but kind of going, that is so outrageous what you're
Yeah.
saying. That like it's kind of funny to me.
We call them in the Netherlands, like literally translated, we would call them like attic nights. So people who are
Okay.
in their attic, just like writing comments, being like really tough, but maybe
Keyboard
never go
warriors.
outside or buy a ticket to
Yeah.
actually see the competition or
That's
whatever.
so funny.
So yeah, yeah, because some of the comments like Jesus, like it's crazy.
But at least
Um,
they're at least they're engaged and
yeah,
they want to be part of it. It's like
that's
it
one
goes
way to
deep.
call it.
It goes deep, the Eurovision.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
fans go deep for
yeah.
sure.
um, Edward, is there anything that we did not discuss during this interview that you really want to that you really want to share with our viewers?
No, all I can say is have an open mind, and if you like what you hear and what you see,
Hmm.
vote for us.
Yeah, that's the best
Uh,
thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Show your love by voting.
Okay, great, great. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, because things can always look different when it's on the Grand Eurovision stage, right?
Well, of
Yeah.
100%. And we're aware of that too. But we feel like we can bring more
Hmm.
than what the song is live.
Okay, cool, cool. So, great expectations. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed for you guys.
I'm piling the more pressure on myself here.
Yeah, yeah. No pressure, no pressure. Just like
Yeah.
Zen,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to gotta find that guy's end somewhere.
yeah. Well, we hope to see you somewhere in Eurovision land in the upcoming months, weeks.
I'll see
So
you in
we'll,
Amsterdam.
yeah, probably, yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, and then I would like to thank you for this interview, and I'm going to wish you and the rest of the band the best of luck.
Well, thank you
And
so much,
yeah,
honestly. And thank you for your
great
time.
luck.
Thank you for reaching out.
Of course, no problem. Thank you. Have a great night.
Not at all. Thank you.